Millions of Germans will likely be happy if their electricity costs go back down. It's clear that sanctions are not ending the war in Ukraine. Gazprom is using its record high profits to build gas pipelines to China. Oil exports to Asia have already increased. Russia does not need the West to buy its raw materials. But the German industry is collapsing without cheap energy sources. And who is the laughing third man in this fight? It's the United States, whose hydraulic fracturing industry is making a profit of $200 million on each liquefied gas tanker. We are destroying our own industry and our middle class. This is madness.
Well, there seems to be a shift underway in Europe as people start waking up to the cost of the anti-Russian sanctions that the establishment has saddled them with. The number of Austrian citizens who support the sanctions is decreasing and now at 40%. That's according to a new survey. The cause? Well, energy and inflation, of course, which are also driving up the popularity of the right-wing populist Freedom Party in Austria that supports respectful dialogue with Russia. In the Czech Republic, about 70,000 people hit the streets over the weekend in protest of rising energy costs that are expected to get even worse as winter sets in. In Italy, hundreds of people burned their utility bills in Naples. On Sunday, a reported 2,000 protesters in Cologne demanded that the government prioritize their energy needs over Ukraine. And now prominent politicians are starting to sing the same refrain. Former Italian Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini is calling out the damage being done by misguided European policies.
Do we have to defend Ukraine? Yes, but I would not want the sanctions to harm those who impose them more than those who are hit by them.
A prominent French political figure is also speaking out. Former Ecology Minister Ségolène Royal, who ran against Nicolas Sarkozy as the Socialist Party candidate in the final round of the 2007 presidential race, and more recently served as current President Emmanuel Macron's ambassador for Arctic and Antarctic poles, is calling for peace and dialogue, saying that, quote, sanctions against Russia, badly assessed and badly anticipated, are turning against us meaning the French people. And she's not the only voice emerging in France among the political class.
Everyone knows that war propaganda is driven by fear. The first event mentioned was the bombing of a maternity hospital. When Mr. Zelensky was doing the rounds of the European parliaments, it was this incident that brought the peace process to a halt. He was unable to give the names of any of the victims, but in the age of smartphones, we would have seen them.
It's brave to challenge the discourse imposed by the media. I do it for many other subjects. I'm sorry. There is an accepted narrative that is imposed by the media. And people like Ségolène Royal and me are challenging this practice.
At a press conference in Berlin, well, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said that his country plans to stop importing Russian gas starting in December and will continue to support Kyiv. Basically, Germany, like the rest of the EU, thinks that it can just treat Russia like a booty call for gas whenever it needs or wants to, and without consequence. But the optics of denouncing Russian gas while also begging Moscow not to turn off the gas tap are obviously problematic. So Germany is apparently going to stick to importing Russian liquefied natural gas from China, which will cost much more, rather than just being honest about its needs and best interests and those of its people.